All right, what's up, Mortgage Coach community? Today I am interviewing Matt DeLuzio, Denver, Colorado, fourth generation Coloradoan. He did 62 million in production last year. To me, what makes this guy special is he is a true advisor. Just when we were doing the prep, he used the word presence, how important it is to have presence with people, how important it is to have local expertise. And so I came up with the headline, Winning with Extreme Empathy and Local Expertise. He's done over, for all you mortgage coaches, he's done he's done 7,237 mortgage coaches over the course of 10 years. So this guy really cares about people and goes the extra mile. Welcome to the community. Well, not welcome to the community. Welcome to the first time on our YouTube channel, man.
Yeah, thank you. Long time listener, first time caller, I think, right? So
Yeah. Well, I'm excited that Brian Merrily on our success team, on our account team, told me I need to interview you. He said he manages the partnership with MVP, and he's like, Dave, this guy is someone that others can learn from. So I'm excited to learn from you.
yeah, happy to be here and appreciate all that you guys do. The YouTube channel, it's just a great resource for a lot of originators. I know a lot of people take a lot from it, so happy to be here and to share anything I can.
Yeah, well, cool. So why don't we just start with you describing your model, like your mortgage practice, however you want to describe that.
Yeah, so I think, in today's market especially, there's a lot of people in different capacities, whether that be the broker channel, the correspondent channel. Have teams, don't have teams. I'm in the correspondent channel, have been for a long time. We first started as a broker, went to a company, and then landed at VIP Mortgage out of Arizona a little over 2 years ago. We have a DBA called Spire Financial in Denver. And so we have a great team, that we run through. And I've had my personal production team for quite a while as well. And so we've, seen the our Spire Financial DBA do over $1 billion during the heyday of COVID, and now we're probably around 400 million or so as a group, and that's the group myself and a partner run. And so, but we all still personally produce because we've had to flatten that hierarchy a lot on the production side. And I always like producing. I think that, being in this business, I never thought I'd be a mortgage lender. Even the first couple years into it, when I was doing it part-time to replace my wife's salary for a while, she wanted to have her stay home when we had kids. Never thought I'd stick in it, but man, it's just such an incredible business, and you can really build a great foundation. And if you're an advisor and you have high integrity, you do what you say you're going to do. People know that, they feel it, and if you have an abundant mindset, then people are going to be attracted to you, and you're going to do a lot of business.
Yeah, well, I love that. What is your primary referral source? Like, where does most of your business come from?
Realtor base. So primarily realtor base, previous clients. I've been doing this for 13 years now. I have a database of over 5,000 people. So starting to get, obviously a lot of previous client referrals. We use, different tools on the back end of that to stay in touch. But, our realtor base, we retain a lot of referrals on that side. And mainly because they know that we're going to perform, not only from a closing side, but we're going to help get clients in the right position to make the right offer, get under contract, do all the things that we need to do intangibly to make them successful, right? When a realtor refers us or any other mortgage professional, their real hope is that they're going to get high service, that they're going to get competitive, options, and they're going to get the right advice to get under contract. And I think that's where we really shine with our presence.
What is your unique value problem? Because you kind of told me presence, empathy, local expertise, but how do you like, and if you have a script, like, hey, this is some words that I use with a lot of my clients to position myself, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, give me a script. Or if you want to just describe it, what is your unique value prop to a home buyer or someone that you're talking to?
So it's really three things. It's sharing knowledge, making sure they have clarity, providing accessible content like Mortgage Coach. It's very accessible and it's the content that they really need. And then it's a personal connection. And to be fair, not every person, not every client wants a personal connection. And some clients may not value a lot of that. And so they're more transactional. And while we can help those guys, that's not our main focus. So we want to help the people that want help, that need advising, that have questions, and we can help educate and get clear on what those options are, whether they're first-time buyers or investors, self-employed. There's a lot of different ways, and every client comes with their own unique set of circumstances that we have to advise through. And so TCAs help us do that because it makes it individualized to them, and we spend a lot of time, which is why we've done over 7,000. And I will say, those 7,000 are not automated generated ones. Okay. We actually just plugged that in like in the last maybe month where we can automate.
Is it the integration with Encompass?
Yeah, the integration with Encompass. We literally just started doing that on our team. Previous to that, so 7,000 of them were manually generated, right? And that's how impactful or important we think Mortgage Coach was. And for anybody that like thinks, well, I want to get started on it, but I just don't know, if it's right. Like I'm an old person, old dog. Like I get in routine, right? And I don't want to change things. And even establishing templates originally scared me. I'm telling you, just invest a little bit of time. Mortgage Coach is the number one tool that I couldn't do this business without.
First of all, I didn't know that all those were done manually, and I didn't know well, I did know you have the integration with the Compass, but how long did it take you pre-Encompass integration, and then how much time is Encompass saving you?
It's saving us quite a bit of time. I admittedly am not the one that's creating those every time, but we got
That's
so good
okay.
at them. Yeah, I mean, my team's doing it, but the main guy that does it on my team loves it, right? Because a lot of those things are auto-generated that we don't have to do before. So it saves us probably, 2 or 3 minutes, because doing it manually, especially once you do a few thousand, it takes just a couple of minutes to actually do one manually. So, but it does save us a couple of minutes per TCA. So, and then, I think the key for me, especially running a team, is you want consistent communication and numbers over to clients. And so when we talk about presence, I don't know what a lot of people use. I see a lot of different things, whether it's Excel spreadsheets or other systems or whatever, that are just more cumbersome and don't look very good. And Mortgage Coach and TCAs are so quick. You can copy and paste. So we'll set like a pre-approval scenario based upon what the client's goals are. And that's centered around monthly payment, cash to close, maybe purchase price, give them a set of options. Now, as they're searching, again, we counsel them, send us scenarios, especially in this market. We'll talk about that here in a bit. Really critical to be very present and understand what the different options are for a client and how that might integrate a strategy on an offer in a specific property scenario. But we can copy, recreate that very quickly. So you'll see, and honestly, I could probably pull one up if I had a few minutes, but where we've literally run, you know, uh, 60 TCAs for a client while they're shopping over months, making sure that they know. Not every client wants that. Some clients do. Very quick to recreate and get that scenario sent to them. Whether it's me sending it, somebody on my team sending it, we know the lane that we're in and the expectations that the client has and what their goals are as well.
I love it. Well, first of all, I hope folks heard like you could create a Mortgage Coach total cost analysis manually in 5 minutes or less. So for all you individual LOs that have our product or that want it, like it's 5 minutes or less. And then for all the loan officers that work for a company that has Encompass, guys, this is how fast and easy it can be. It really does save time. We integrate with a lot of pricing engines, a lot of CRMs, well, pretty much most of them, proprietary LOSs. But hey, if you have a Compass, you just go into Mortgage Coach, say new client, go into the folder where the loan is, whether it's a purchase or a refi, put in 3 letters for the person's name, click search, and then in the speed of internet, boom, you've gone from, price to advice. And then how often do you use this feature where you show the live feature where right now, whatever the loan officer clicks on, he highlights, it changes for the consumer. Is that a feature that you use very often?
Yeah, we do use that a lot. We absolutely do. Again, it's centered around what I love about this and providing accessible content. Every client's a little different. Some clients want to get on Zoom meetings and go through lots of different things. We've broken up our process to try to, drip different information on them throughout the process because I built my process how I learn, which is not all at once. I need reinforcement, especially in a new scenario. I want to know a lot of things, but I don't have the capacity to take everything in at one time. So having the reference source, this helps us, provide that accessible content to our clients consistently. And some of those clients will say, hey, can you explain this? Yes, let's jump on and I'll show you exactly what we're trying to do. We haven't created necessarily a lot of videos inside of the Mortgage Coach system, but we do, bomb screen records. All I would tell you is use Mortgage Coach as a base, but make it accessible to you as far as how you're going to use it in your process. There's lots of different ways, and admittedly, we got to get better too about using some of the newer tools that Mortgage Coach has in better ways. We get kind of rooted in our systems and the way that we do things, so we don't always, train ourselves on new ways to use it. But the base is very, very powerful.
So let's talk about you mentioned problems that consumers have. What are the 3 biggest problems consumers have in your market where you're using advice to help them?
Yeah, so I think, what's interesting about the market today is that we're seeing multiple different ways in which we have to advise and be competitive for the client. And what I mean by that, and I tell clients this all the time, that, hey, we're going to set the 3 things, the 3 metrics that we have to do on a pre-approval: down payment, credit score, debt to income. Those are the things that we're setting. But the actual strategy of how we're going to attack an offer and what that offer is going to look like and what the mortgage structure is going to look like is probably going to differ from property to property. So we have to be really present in the market today to make sure that you're successful as a client. What I mean by that is I had clients that just saw property this weekend, just hit the market. We're going to have a different strategy on that side. We got to start talking about appraisal gaps, right? And every market's a little different, but we're seeing appraisal gaps, waiving loan contingencies, going as hard and as far as you can to get that contract accepted with offer terms from the seller. On the other side, we also see properties that have been sitting for longer, maybe a little higher priced, or just haven't moved quite as well. Maybe they need a little bit of work. So our offer strategy is going to be different there. We're going to look at buy downs and temporary buy downs and those types of things. The only way that we can do that, though, if I tried to just throw up on everybody, to be honest, Dave, on a Zoom meeting, hey, we can do, competitive offer terms. We can do temporary buy downs, permanent buy downs. We can do all of the things. They're not going to retain any of it. The way that they're going to retain it is through seeing it in scenarios when it's applicable in the market. It starts to click then. We give them the base. These are the definitions. This is your pre-approval amount. Now let's start to run some options in the market. So I think it's key because, again, what makes sense for them, right? Usually it's not purchase price. It's monthly payment, cash to close. We got to start targeting around those sides to solve the problems of what they're encountering in the market. If we have to go appraisal gap, how do we do that, right? In Mortgage Coach with a 5% down, 10% down, 3% down, like how much can we guarantee? If we're doing temporary buy downs, this is what it looks like. This is how much concessions we need. In the case of a client this weekend, they needed more cash, retain more cash to improve the property. Rather than putting 10% down, we ran 5% down scenarios with some rate buy down options so that they can choose what the best option is. So it's very, very individualized and it takes a lot of work. The key though is that through the system, right? And Mortgage Coach, once you have that base and you're good at it, it goes really fast. So we can run scenario after scenario very quickly. We can send it from our phones. You can send the link, right? You can update a TCA pretty quickly. So that's what I would say in the market today is the most important. Then you have the clients that might need a little bit more time or hand holding. It's like rent versus own, those types of pieces. But to me right now, a lot of it centers around what their max monthly payment is, especially as payments eclipse, $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. So we start talking about the tax strategies as well, which we didn't have to talk about and couldn't really talk about for years as rates were so low. Today, we implemented that into our process as part of the advising because clients are going to have, in a lot of cases, not every single case, but a lot of cases, they're going to save on their income tax, right? They're going to have an interest deduction. They're going to be able to itemize. They're going to have some savings on that side. And so as we look holistically at what the best option is for a client and preparing them, giving them the education and clarity as to what the whole picture looks like, a lot of times we're able to maneuver things for them to make sense.
Love it. Love it. What are your any thoughts on the news last week that Rocket is acquiring Redfin and Redfin's got 50 million visitors a month and just one stop, find a home, buy a home, finance a home. How does that concern you and any strategic thoughts you have on that?
That's a great question. Does it concern me? I think any of the technology, technological advances are a bit concerning if you're not embracing technology. We're trying to always embrace, different ways to make sure that we're present and highly advising through tools. Um, Houses aren't hard to find for sale, right? It used to be a lot different. Like you'd have to have access to certain things and MLSs and all of that. That seems to be changing a lot, but houses really aren't that hard to find. The key is solving people's problems and having the expertise to be able to navigate them through that is the key. So I am concerned a bit, but I think that there's going to be a very, very good business for the professionals in this work in the mortgage industry, the people that are highly advising, because people need some personal connection to understand. Not everyone, but most need some personal connection to understand how things work and what makes sense for them, and explaining it. Like we work with really smart people, smart clients, but they have no idea what mortgage really means. And the financial literacy in our country, honestly, is subpar. So a lot of people don't understand, the family balance sheet. Dave, I use that term all the time. That was one that you threw out a long time ago, right? Family balance sheet. I love that because we see clients that maybe have equity that are stuck in those lower rates, feel frozen, but have a lot of debt. So they still need to make a move, but what does that next move look like if they take some of that equity and pay off the debts? We'll include that in TCAs so they can see the total cash flow that they're saving as well. So I think, the key is that you got to have a tool that you can use and put use to it, right? So learn it in the way that makes sense for you, but put that in front of clients. Give them clarity on what that looks like because I've had quite a few conversations in my database of people that we didn't expect to move are moving. They're moving out of the 2.75 rates. They're moving out of the 3.5 rates for their family, and we're rebalancing some debt.
So you said something, and I want to make a coaching note here because I think it was, first of all, it was really well said. I think it's super on point. Finding a home is not that tough in the market. There's lots of great apps, there's lots of great solutions to do that. People need individualized advice and help. And that individualized help isn't just like, oh, this is what the family needs. It depends on the property. You notice like, hey, a property that needs a little extra work, maybe 5% versus 10%. And so I did a a LinkedIn post today where I said, local referral based mortgage professionals, which you're local, you're referral based, realtor based, you're not going to win the price game. You're probably not going to win the convenience game when Rockets and Redfins are coming together. Uh, as platforms like that will probably be able to speed of transaction faster, but that means you need to double down on the advice and coaching game. And you can absolutely win that as someone that you live in a local market. You're a human being who focuses on empathy and presence and really understanding the consumer's needs and problems. And I can just tell from this conversation, and you are obsessed with solving that problem, communicating how you solve that problem in a highly individualized way. And I didn't use the word personalized because personalized kind of tends to mean, oh, I put in their name, I know their pets. No, individualized. You know their balance sheet.
Yeah,
You know that they want to achieve financial freedom, and you're giving coaching advice at scale,
yeah,
7,237 times. And
at
then
scale. Right.
and then I heard you like, oh, we got a new adoption or a new integration. We're using it. Like there's a faster workflow. We're using it. And we're going to be adding AI to Mortgage Coach soon. I guarantee he'll be using it.
Yep.
We're using data to update the total cost analysis. He's going to use it. So he's always going to like what workflows deliver a faster experience, what improves the consumer experience, and then you're obsessed with winning with advice and coaching. Is that fair enough to say?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I think it's different for every client. So understanding what's important to them, and I think I told you this in the prep, Dave, it doesn't mean that we do every deal. It doesn't mean that, a client goes to a builder that's doing a forward commitment and putting a 499 rate out there for them right now, putting 6 points or whatever it is behind that already in their margin, that we're not going to tell them that's the right deal to take this time. But they have friends, they have family. It's probably not the last purchase. It might not be, the last transaction they even do on that house. And so if I say this all the time, we will play the parlay and not the payday. We're ready to be the advisor. We're okay if that means going elsewhere because it's a better deal. As long as we have a shot at it and we're going to be transparent about what the deal is, we're going to continually win time after time, and we're going to continually grow our database of people that know, like, and trust us.
Hey, could you share? I know you're going to show a total cost analysis real quick. Could you share that in chat? Because I want to show it on my screen. So if you could just take the link to the TCA that you were going to show and share it to me in Zoom chat. And I want to show off a feature, a
Sure.
new feature, guys, that's coming. And then we'll go into wrap up mode. And so by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube and you have questions or comments, please share those. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you have some questions or comments, share those. And as soon as I see your link, there it is. So guys, we're always obsessed here at Trust Engine with making things more valuable for the consumer. So a new feature that's coming soon, and I did show it to Matt a minute ago, so I want to be authentic. Like he's not seeing it for the first time, but he just saw it for the first time 5 minutes ago. We are adding, and we may not call it Explain with AI, maybe just called Ask AI, but that link just pulled all the information out of the total cost analysis, and now the consumer can interact with that. By the way, what was the problem this consumer was trying to solve, like, and how long were they planning to live in the home?
So these are first-time buyers. This is not the forever home. They're really, centered around trying to get payment to 4,000 a month. And they also, have a bit of different cash to work with depending upon, what assets they use and where assets are coming from. They also need to do some work in this property. So understanding the options of really trying to find that optimal point. And I think that's the key. If I could leave that with anybody is Mortgage Coach will help you identify what the optimal point is for a client in their scenario, as long as you know how to set the kind of guidelines around it and then retarget and hone in. And what I love about it is, hey, do these scenarios make sense? Is this one that you want to see, or do you want to see different cash to close or monthly payment? They had asked me about 2-1 buy down opportunities. Didn't make sense in their situation. So it's really, really key on this one.
So guys, I just put in a few options. You said they were first-time home buyers, and if I was a first-time home buyer, I might ask, hey, what's the best loan if I'm living in the home for, 3 years or 5 years? I might have asked, hey, what's the lowest cost per month option? What's the lowest cash to close option? And boom, the consumer is able to engage with AI. And then Matt, the way we're building this feature, he'll know what the consumer put in. Like he will get this feedback. So by the way, Matt, I know you've seen this before, but what do you think of this and what do you like best about it?
Well, I think it keeps them in the system, which is key. And because the AI is so rapidly being adopted, I can't even imagine what the world's going to look like in 2 or 5 years as it relates to AI and the way that we do things. It's becoming a trusted resource for clients. I had a client that just was, had questions on condo financing because there was a condo he was interested in that wasn't going to fit financing rules. And so he admittedly said he looked it up in chat and verified my answers, essentially, which is cool. I don't mind that. But what I love about it is that it's already in the system, so they feel like they can use AI how they would want to outside of the system. And I think that is the accessibility piece that's really key. It's the accessible content piece that mirrors what our value proposition is.
So if you saw that just now, I would love to know on a scale of 1 to 5, um, is that a wow? Like, what do you like about it? If you have concerns, we'd love to know that because we're a couple months from releasing this feature. So anything that you like about what you just saw, we'd love to know it. And anything that you're concerned about, we would love to know it. And we'll start marketing this soon. And for all you mortgage coaches out there, I want, like, who cares if Amazon gets in the mortgage business? If you care about people, you want to help people make the best mortgage decision to achieve longer term financial goals. Because most people, the goal is not just to own a home, it's to own a home and to have financial freedom and to buy a home and build net worth. Like, let us know what you think of that feature. So my friend, I know we'll be doing more content together. Thank you, thank you,
Always
thank
happy to
you
be here.
for this. Yeah, I can't wait for the next interview. Thank you for being a mortgage coach in Denver, Colorado. And then I could tell, I'll bet you a lot of loan officers that work for you, you have encouraged them to do it. So thank you for helping make change in America with,
I
with
do
our
it not so
platform.
nicely sometimes.
Good. Hey, all you managers, did you hear that? Like
Hey,
it
listen, if you
does.
don't use it, I'm gonna beat you. So,
All
I
right.
mean, that's the truth.
All right, guys. So if you have not followed the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, follow it today. I interview top producers all around the country. If you don't already follow savageinsights.com, couple times a week, I have a text group that gives you like whatever I think is going to turn loan officers into advisors. And if you don't have Mortgage Coach, you could go to our website, trustengine.com. If you're an individual loan officer, you can sign up for $150 a month. If you're a manager or executive at a mortgage company and you guys don't have our tech built in, you need to get a demo. Learn about our data services. We're predicting purchases, refis, who's going to move up, and then we're using data to actually, within a couple months, I'll be talking to you because we're actually going to be automating the building of the TCA, leveraging data and automation. So lots of cool stuff coming, guys. Take care, everybody. This is a wrap.